I'm Dalton Barrett with News Radio WGNS, and here are some of the top stories affecting Rutherford County on your Rutherford Roundup for this Monday, April the 21st, 2025. Scam calls are once again targeting Rutherford County residents, prompting a fresh warning from the Sheriff's Office. This time, scammers are impersonating law enforcement by spoofing the number 615-208-3130 and falsely claiming it to be Lieutenant Michael Carmen, a name that holds zero ties to the department. These calls are made more convincing by mimicking the Sheriff's Office's actual voicemail system, typically heard at 615-898-7777. Authorities emphasize that the real Sheriff's Office does not request money over the phone, and any such call should be treated as fraudulent and deleted. Murfreesboro and surrounding communities are urged to remain vigilant as the scam continues to circulate. While residents in Rutherford County are staying alert for scams, they may also be feeling the impact of broader economic concerns, particularly the rising cost of rent. A new Wallet Hub study evaluated affordability across 182 U.S. cities and found that Tennessee's major cities did not fare well. Memphis ranked 153rd in the least affordable in the state, followed by Knoxville at 152 and Nashville at 102. Although Murfreesboro and Smyrna weren't individually ranked, residents here are not immune to similar financial pressure, with rent prices climbing more than 50% over the past decade and wages lagging behind. Experts suggest cost-saving strategies like choosing simpler accommodations, seeking roommates, and finding units with included utilities. Federal charges have been filed against the developers of a failed $350 million sports complex once planned for Murfreesboro. The Legacy Sports Tennessee project, set for land-off on Northwest Broad Street near I-840, was originally backed by local officials in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. But after years of delay, the plan collapsed as fraud allegations surfaced against Randy and Chad Miller of Arizona. Prosecutors allege that the Millers used forged documents and inflated financial data to raise over $250 million in bonds. Rather than invest in the sports facilities, they allegedly spent the funds on personal luxuries like homes, vehicles, and salaries. The Arizona facility, meant to serve as a model for Murfreesboro, sold for just a fraction of its debt, and the Millers now face charges including wire fraud and identity theft in federal court. Meanwhile, Tennessee lawmakers continue to push immigration reform. A new chief immigration enforcement officer has been appointed to lead a division created earlier this year, with a focus on coordinating with federal agencies. One bill awaiting the governor's signature would hold organizations responsible if undocumented immigrants in their care committed crimes. Other measures, like allowing schools to deny enrollment to undocumented students, have stalled due to the concerns over federal funding. The debate carries real implications for Murfreesboro, Smyrna, and the rest of Rutherford County as the legislative session nears its end. Community cooperation and advanced police technology led to the recent arrest of a Murfreesboro man accused of illegal dumping in Rutherford County. Calvin Moody, age 20, was taken into custody by Rutherford County Sheriff's deputies and now faces multiple charges, including aggravated criminal littering, tampering with evidence, and falsifying vehicle registration. This case began when a mattress was found dumped along Florence Road between Murfreesboro and Smyrna. Thanks to tips from residents and support from the Murfreesboro Police Department's Real-Time Crime Center, authorities identified Moody as the suspect. Investigators utilized license plate reader technology to track the involved vehicle, demonstrating how law enforcement tools and public involvement can work hand in hand. Moody was booked into the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center, and his bond was pending as of Friday. The Sheriff's Office expressed gratitude for the community's assistance and its partnership with Murfreesboro Police. In a separate effort to keep downtown Murfreesboro clean, Main Street Murfreesboro has installed 12 new Big Belly trash cans around the square. These modern, self-contained bins prevent litter from blowing onto sidewalks and feature historic photos sourced from the Rutherford County archives. Each can displays a different piece of local history and includes a QR code for learning more. Funded through a collaboration between the city and Main Street Murfreesboro, the new cans also honor the organization's 40th anniversary. They are locked, cleaned daily, and are expected to expand into other areas in the city soon. A man wanted for the fatal stabbing of his estranged wife has been captured by U.S. Marshals Service Task Force agents. Candido Rubio Perez, age 54, was arrested on Monday at an apartment complex on Berkeley Drive in Murfreesboro and booked on a criminal homicide warrant. He's accused of killing 52-year-old Nicura Alfonso Alcevedo in what authorities believe was a domestic violence-related attack outside of Caldwell Elementary School in Nashville. The incident occurred just before dawn, prior to student arrival. Acevedo, who had worked at Caldwell as a custodian since the fall, was discovered unresponsive in the school parking lot around 6 a.m. by a fellow staff member. Investigators believe that Perez had been lying in wait for her. Following the attack, Metro Nashville Police launched an immediate homicide investigation, and a warrant was issued. Law enforcement urged the public to help locate Rubio Perez, offering a cash reward through Crime Stoppers. Meanwhile, Rutherford County faces an economic hit as Saks Global announced that it will permanently close its Tennessee Fulfillment Center at 1 Walden Brooks Drive in Laverne. Starting June 4th, 2025, the company will begin laying off all 446 employees, with the process expected to conclude by November 30th. The closure was detailed in a WARN notice submitted to the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development on April 17th. The Northern Middle Local Workforce Development Area Rapid Response Team, coordinated by Workforce Essentials, is stepping in to assist affected workers with retraining and job placement. Local and state officials, including area mayors and members of Congress, were notified as part of the response. That's all for now. For updates on these, as well as many more local news stories, be sure to check out our website, WGNSradio.com, or follow us on social media at News Radio WGNS on Facebook and X. I'm Dalton Barrett for WGNS Radio, and I'll talk to you later.